March 22nd, 23. All right, we'll roll call, Greg Nivens,
Here.
Geraldine Walker,
Here.
Lee Richards,
Here.
Shane Walker,
Here.
and Bob. Here. All right, all here. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting on March the 20th. Got your minute right there over here. I think I typed up 3 pages on that. Or 2.5. Huh?
I'll make a motion.
Greg Nivens makes a motion. Randall seconds. Is there any discussion on that? If not, vote. All approved, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Need a motion to approve the drug recovery court applying for the BJA grant. It's 25% match, no cost to the county. Randall makes a motion on that.
I'll second.
Geraldine seconds. Is there any discussion on that? No discussion being made. All four say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Now we're come to the next part. We're on page 5. You'll see here, the Rickman Web Center. We have, we'll read page 5 here. We have Clint and, Melton and Wes Burnett going to be presenting with, the Rickman Recreational Center. Boys, if y'all will, y'all want to come up and address, you can sit where you at, you can come up here and join us at the table.
That's fine, anyway.
I'm gonna be taking notes.
Okay.
So, I'm paying attention, I promise, I'm trying to keep up with you.
I'm Clint Melton, I'm, president of the Rickman Recreation Center, and this is Wes, I'll let him.
Wes Burnett, treasurer.
So, do I need to talk about the background of the Rickman
You can
Recreation
talk about
Center?
anything you want to.
Okay. Well, we're here, kind of requesting, funds to help with the Rickman Recreation Center. We're a nonprofit organization, that has, taken over the park there in Rickman, trying to reestablish it, revitalize it, and restore it. So we're kind of requesting, funds for parks and recreation funds to help with that project. We've been working on this for a couple of years now, at least a year paperwork, and we've been, out working on the site for probably about 8-9 months, I guess, Wes. Made a lot of improvements so far, but we've got a long way to go too, so, we, thought we could, a little bit of help, goes a long way with us,
What do you plan on doing with it?
so, I don't know if you guys have these or not, I turned them in, but,
Yes, we got them here, with us.
So, on this first page, it looks like this right here at the bottom, it kind of lays out what we would use the money for. And
Before we get into that, little background, I guess, on the property, it's a 20-acre tract, an existing baseball field that's there, been, won't say neglected, but not properly kept up for the last 5, 6, maybe even longer than that year. So there was an old tennis court, been cleaned up. On the front side of that property is the south is responsible for the first half there. So, what is there is a baseball field that with these funds here that's broken down, it needs a little bit of fence repair and a few other minor things, new bases, pitch and mound, things like that. It would be a field that would then be usable. So that's the history of that, what we have there now and where we're trying to get with these funds, just so that it would be a usable field for an additional place for teams to use, for practice and things. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. And starting out about a little less than a year ago, I guess, we got a lot of community help and involvement in helping us. We've already done some things to that area in that field. Well, Wes mentioned cleaning up a lot, and we've done a lot of cleanup there. But we also had a lot of the community come out and help us restore the bleachers on both sides, the home and away side. So we got those restored and repaired and fixed and ready to go. We also were able to install a cover over one of the dugouts, and we meant to get the other one installed last year, and we didn't get around to it, but we've got it set. We're gonna install the cover on the other dugout. Did a lot of field repair and field maintenance last year.
Light poles are set.
The light poles are set. We got the light poles set. Put lights up. Of course, we got water and electric back to the property. And, scoreboard, working on scoreboard. I think we'll have it ready to go this year. So a lot of things have already been done, and what we're asking for here is just stuff that's going to finish out the field and get us ready for this, to make this field. So, first, bases with anchors and plugs. We priced that out at $491.39. The bases that are there now are dry rotted and not really usable for the field.
And then the old rebar type, these are the safety type bases that pop out if somebody slides into it too hard. Instead of breaking a leg. The ones that are there, the old reed style, not safe.
Yeah. Also with that is the in-ground home plate. We have it priced out at $187.19. Portable mound, which is the majority of this, is $4,207.31.
How come they didn't show that?
Just, I don't know, as far as cost wise, there's a couple different styles, they all run about the same price. Different leagues require different ones, different sizes, different things. This one was one for what would be considered a little league field. If you look at like a Babe Ruth field, it's a little bit bigger of a mound and actually a little bit more cost. But this one's portable so that we could actually move it and put it inside when it's not being used so that it wouldn't disappear on us.
Yeah. Well, once you get them, it's a lot less maintenance too, so I'm guessing they're figuring that into the cost when somebody's buying one, that you don't have to maintenance your pitching mound. Field lining kit, $175.49, which is striping the field for the lines. The dry line marker at $620.09. The fence topper, which is the plastic that goes on top of the fence, is that right, Wes? It goes on top of the fence so that, you know, if you got somebody out there at the outfield sticking their arm over, they don't want to jab their arm on a piece of the fence coming up. Fence repairs, there's one section of it where it's kind of missing, and then there's a couple of little holes that we have to fill in as well.
Top of the backstop is missing some framing, so that would complete the fence all the way around.
And then that last dugout cover that we have to do. So all that totaled up to $9,997.67.
You try to look at any grant?
I'm sorry.
You just look at any grant?
We're in the process of applying for a couple, applied for.
So we apply for the UCMC grant every month. And they have been gracious enough, they have granted us 2 or 3 of those. We applied for the AARP grant. It didn't go directly to the field, but the AARP grant, we applied for it to do a walking track around the park. That was one that, we were sent to apply for, and then,
That's the one I sent you.
yes, and then, there was a turf and field one, the Scots, we did that, applied for that grant. There's a lot of them out there, but there's not as many. I start digging into them and we're not eligible or something like that comes up. There was another one that I was sent, that I looked into, and we were eligible, as a nonprofit, but it was only in certain areas, and Rickman was excluded from that area, so we could not apply for that one, but we do look into every grant that comes across. I think there's a
NRPA grant, 2.4 million is available. The deadline on it's 31st of March.
Yeah.
So put you under the gun real quick to get everything together.
That was one thing last year when we started looking at grants too, we were running into deadlines on all of them. Another one that we're planning on applying for is the Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Spaces grant, which is the deadline for it is, I wanna say August 31st.
Yeah.
Something like
That
that.
come across my computer the other day.
Yeah.
They
We
used to have-
definitely want to be ready to apply for that
They
one.
used to have regular grants for stuff like that, trails and parks and stuff like that. Actually got $63,000 out of that grant one time. If you go through it, UCMC, or Criminal Development, you've done those before.
Yeah. Our ultimate goal is,
But it's usually, on that one, you'd have to have an agency partner with you, like county or somebody else. We had to have two different people partnering with us, and we got the county can be one of the partners, and they can do in-kind service. They can take the equipment out there and just incorporate that into whatever it needs, like you're doing new ground or fix driveways, that you can count that percentage.
When will you know on
In-kind.
the grants?
What's that?
When will you know? on the
We
grants?
should know on the Scots, I think it was, April, and, I believe the AARP might have been May. I can't remember, Stephen, you sent me that one, but I think it was either April or May too, when we'll know on those. It's this spring, for sure, on both of them.
And you mentioned, so that's good for you, but your vital plans, football down there too, aren't you?
we have plans of, we would like to at some point have a walking trail, a multi-use field, another baseball field, so that there'd be two there, and then depending on funding, gymnasium or something down the line. But yeah, we have not been to the schools.
I heard somebody say that y'all play, kind of like the little guys definitely on field, which can't get filled over here.
Yeah, there's been issues, I mean, especially with COVID and everything, with access to fields and gyms and things of that nature, so, I think there's a lot of, I've talked to a lot of people in the community who are really excited about it and, are willing to help. Like, we had, 2 or 3, work days, just people come out and volunteer to come out and spend time working on the facility and bring their own stuff and use their own stuff and donate. And we had, 40, 50 people out there, on our work days helping us. So,
They've come a long way. Have you been out there lately and seen all the work that's done? Yeah, oh Lord, you know what I've seen before they started and what they've got now, they have come a long way. I went out there the other day and pulled up to the fence there and was looking at light poles, as soon as it said, it's come a long way. I seen you put the old bottom down, playground.
yeah, it was more of a hazard than it was, anything we could say, but I was afraid somebody might get up in there and hurt themselves, so we were able to take that down. If we can get this Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Spaces grant, they do a big playground, it's really nice. I know, Baxter's gotten it, who else was it? Wes, do you remember? Someone out there in Overton place, in Upper Cumberland, that got it too, I can't remember who it was, but, I think we would be a really good spot to try to get that.
That Blue Cross Blue Shield, I think they do a lot with park and rec, don't
I'm assuming.
they? it'd be a good thing, I mean, let's have big plans for over there. I mean, we sat down and talked kinda about some plans over there. I think it could be a big thing to the community, cause it used to be, back when I was a kid, we used to play ball over there.
We've recently met with had a survey done, so we've had clear boundaries. We've met with a site engineer, and he's gonna draw it just to see space-wise, the way the property's shaped, what makes the most sense and how. So we're trying to get all this in place before we just take off and 5 years down the road, wish we'd have done something in a different location. So we're trying to do check all the boxes before we actually get traction here. But that is in the works and has been done.
Going back to what Steve was saying, I mean, Rickman's such a growing area too. It would, I think it's a great place, I think, for a spot, for a park.
I talked to, the Cool Rec Center, and they applied, well, the grant's not available now, but they applied for grants, and grants is what did that whole thing over. The indoor basketball courts and, the gyms that they have. Remember I told you it'd be a great spot to have, a little rec center over there, the indoor basketball court, cause ain't nobody let you use basketball courts anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the church won't let you go in there.
Around, yeah.
We've
We don't
got-
have a junior pro league right now. You can pro basketball because we don't have courts, which is a shame.
Yeah, well, the kids, I mean, they wanna play and they can't, you just can't get on gyms.
Or they have to play out of county. There's a lot of kids that they're playing in other counties.
Did Shannon talk to y'all about her ideas?
Yep. Shannon's been working with us, doing stuff like this.
Do you know how much you got from the parties thing the other day?
Don't know yet. I don't know yet. I know I ate 2 meals there, so. We should get something.
Goes through corporate and then,
Oh, does it?
yeah, they said it would be a couple weeks after they record what they got told me then.
They started at 8 AM.
8 AM to 6 PM.
I passed by at 4:30, so I didn't get to get it. That's the capital one day.
Yeah.
Who owns the property over for this area, or who actually owns it?
It's a non-profit.
Non-profit, okay, so, I was looking at this grant here, it must be a public, well, it'd be public land, public owned land. LPRF grant, local parks and recreation fund. 60% of the funds allocated go to municipal governments.
The ones that had it before, I think Donald Brown was on the board. There was a board that had it, looked over it. I can't remember, there was,
Usually the grass is on it.
yeah, they was 5, I think 5 of them. Now they just took over that board, they signed it over to a new board.
So you're still keeping up the horse rings and all that?
Yes, that,
Yeah, the Saddle Club's been there for so long, we don't wanna step on their toes.
Okay, so they're mostly handling it, so.
Yeah, they're handling their spot, yeah. They take care of theirs and, maintain insurance liability and stuff.
fenced off on what they occupy, and now we agreed to allow that.
I won't come in there and just run them off.
And then they've got the Rickman, community center there too. And it was whole black mold back a long time ago, so it probably in rough shape, man.
Yeah, we cleaned it up, quite a bit, and we've got some plans to, if it can be fixed, salvaged, to try to fix it up and renovate it and get it back going. It just kinda depends on that water issue. We haven't had somebody look at where the water's coming in at yet. A lot of people's already trying to rent it out, and have reunions and stuff, it's not ready yet, guys.
It's kind of a big thing. I mean, everybody used to rent it out.
Yeah.
We've had birthday parties, everything.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions for them? Sorry, I'm kind of reading some.
No, you're fine.
City ballpark, if they have anything that they would be using that could help us in any way like that?
So, when we talked about the lights, we have the light poles set. TCAT helped us out with setting the poles. And then, we were donated the light fixtures from the old, football field. So when they took the lights down at the old football field, those were donated to us. We have to replace the bulbs in them, because, we're gonna be doing the LED lights, so the bulbs will come out, and we'll put the LED bulbs in there. And then, we've got donations we got a scoreboard donated to us, and possibly a couple other scoreboards on the way too, in talks with, a couple other scoreboards gonna be donated to us. So, we have had several donations and everything like that.
So like the city ballpark, do they have any like section of fence or anything that?
I don't know really off the top of my head.
When you get it open, are you gonna, like charge people?
So most of the park that I think most of the time is gonna be, open to the public. You know, we will have to, as a nonprofit, have to have a little bit of money coming in just to keep the lights on, as I say. So, you know, I kind of thought about just doing, you know, for private parties and stuff, just small rental fees and stuff like that, or, teams to practice on, maybe like a small rental fee for a practice on a field or something like that. And just at certain times, and kind of spread those out, stuff like that.
Cover our insurance and the lights and things, you know, depending on
I know if you go to another county to play in a tournament or something, you always have to pay to get in the day, bookings and everything.
Yeah, and
So-
this is something we could host tournaments there, you know, especially if we're able to get to where we get 2 fields. We can host tournaments and have, we would like to have, you know, all kinds of different events out there, 4th of July, fireworks, and stuff like that. Just,
all the community and the kids, just give them a place to go.
yeah, picnics and playgrounds and stuff like that.
You know, like she's talking like on the baseball all-stars, some of the years, my son was on that, they say the reason they can't ever host them here is because there's really no way to charge people, because you got them coming in from every direction. That'd be a good thing, to host that locally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams, a lot of parents and grandparents that go to it.
Charge, come in, probably charge the team a small price or something like that.
Call it a gate fee, and then they'll do a,
Most of them, I think the team might have to pay a fee, it's like $5 a person.
parent gate fee, yeah, a spectator gate fee, but over here, you've got 4 or 5 different parking lots, and they're all, yeah, there's no way to monitor it all.
I think you're probably still working on that. All right, if anybody else have any more questions?
Both of those like little league size fields.
The one that's currently there, it may be a little bit bigger than
It's
this.
a little bit longer than a little league field, that would be, I'd say, a 10 or 12 U and under field, and places off all that as well. And what our plans were would be just to flip that field where the old tennis courts were, so that you'd have 2 side by side, so that you could have one booth that ran scoreboard and things like that. One concession, general concession here. But yeah, it would be not quite big enough for like a Babe Ruth league, so it'd be a step below the Babe Ruth 12U, I would say, would be your max.
Little league minor. Tony League's girl.
Any more questions? Sorry, I was right. You guys have anything else?
Thank you all for your time.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
You guys?
Good to see you guys.
See you.
Good work.
Thank you.
We'll do what we can to do.
Thank you.
Gotta be careful.
You get this next part, you. Is that all right? All right, next, we have CASA, the court appointed special advocates. It's Ashley July here, and you guys may, come up here and say what they did. Well, good. All right, let's go for
I'm not very good at public speaking, so I wrote it down.
it. It's all right, it's all right.
So,
Just be yourself.
First of all, thank you guys for having us, we appreciate it a lot. My name is Ashley Ball, I'm the county program coordinator for the Overton County Court Appointed Special Advocates for Children, or CASA. And a lot of times when people hear CASA, they think of our amazing Mexican restaurant here, and I just want to clarify, we're not Casa Mexicana. We don't sell tacos, we are a non-profit child advocacy organization. At CASA, we recruit and train local everyday citizens and empower them to be able to stand up in court and represent abused, neglected, and drug-exposed children in Overton County who are going through the foster care system. Our jobs are on the surface level to inform the court of the child's wants, wishes, and needs, and to ensure that these things are being seen to by the court team. An advocate will remain on a child's case the entire time they're going through the system and the juvenile court. Because of this, our volunteers, so this is Mr. Kelly here, and Ms. Hope.
I was looking for them, I'm sorry, you're looking for the meeting.
Came in right on time, didn't it?
Well, I hope, yeah, I'm on time.
So, because of the fact that they're unpaid volunteers, and they have another amount of time to study these kids, they do a lot more than just go to court and talk about what the child needs.
Right.
To the children they represent, the CASA advocate is a dedicated caring adult who genuinely interested in them and their well-being. CASA represents someone who listens, supports their battle days, and has legal presence in their daily lives. Just in this current year, 2023 year, our small team of volunteers, of 253 now, like I said, are serving some 16 children. Altogether, with these professionals, have traveled about 3,000 miles and have attended an untold number of meetings, court hearings, and visits with children, as well as their birth families. Currently, our team consists of 5 volunteers. 5 volunteers have been able to make this significant of an impact on our local community. And personally, I'd like to see at least 20 more volunteers doing that work in Overton County in the next few years.
How many volunteers have you got now?
Just 5,
Just 5.
including myself, I'm also a volunteer.
Volunteers.
In order to do our job, of course, we need the support of the community. Because we cannot and we do not do that work without support from our donors, our supporters, and the cheerleaders that we're so richly blessed with here in Overton County. We're asking the commission to donate $4,500 in faith that our mission is worthwhile and we can become even more impactful to the lives of these vulnerable, scared, abused, and neglected children. Thanks to grant through the state of Tennessee, the money we get is not going to go toward the salaries or the upkeep of our program. And instead, the money we ask for from the community goes directly to our volunteers to support the work they do, and recruit more volunteers. The donation from the county will be used for more important things like gas cards, because some of our very young children end up being placed in foster homes all across the state of Tennessee. Currently, we have a child in Clarksville, we have a child in Chattanooga, we have a child in Nashville, we have a child in Knoxville, and he has several children in Birmingham, Tennessee. So, they have to travel a lot of miles to see these children and be part of their lives. And since they are volunteers, all that expense falls down on their heads. So, with the money we get from our community, we buy gift cards for gas stations and stuff, so they don't have to pay for all of it. And we also use it to pay for training materials for our new volunteers that we train in, which actually is quite expensive because it's really high quality. And also we spend the money towards community outreach events to find more volunteers and just kind of get the word out about CASA because we're really small and not a lot of people know us. I guess that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
I appreciate y'all's time.
Do y'all wanna say anything? I know we have to see HRA.
Say.
Yeah.
One of our work is not going very well here. Some people would clearly see us as some sort of volunteer social worker, nothing could be further from the truth. The cases we take are not simple, small cases. In fact, if you want to pass these around, that is from one of the homes where some of the children came out of. There were 4 adults and 6 children in a 2-bedroom apartment. And the kids were sleeping on those beds. All methamphetamine related. Now, I think the best way to think about us, if you have a doctor and you get sick, really sick, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna go for a second opinion. We are Judge Colson's second opinion. His first opinion is DCS. I have 2 or 3 cases, the other 2 or 3 cases. The DCS will have 40 cases. Doesn't mean they're not good people. It's so many hours in the day. Judge Colson assigns us when there's a special problem, he asks for a council worker. It's not a matter of take this one. He says, I have a problem here. And his words to me and Sarah, President Fetterman, was, if I can really rely on all the information I get from DCS, you don't need your phone. That's the answer. That's second opinion. Michael Patrick is one of us. I don't think anybody knows the school system here in Medicine. I've got 30 years of federal investigator and policeman all over the country. So we approach it from a point of view, not what's good for the parent, not what's good for the family, what's good for the child. DCS takes the point of view, we're going to reunite families. But when you think of the fact that in serious cases, like these pictures, you'll see coming around, the family is most of the problem. Do you really want to reunite them, or do you want to come to a conclusion of what's best for that child? Perhaps foster a child, perhaps adoption, perhaps back to the family. We provide that information to the court. We're the only people who provide court reports to the court at every single hearing. There's no reports in DCS, the UAL, or on the court. So our reports go directly to Judge Foster. We will directly from him. So we don't get caught in the bureaucracy of DCS, which, if you read the paper paper, is expensive. I don't know, 5 minutes. So, again, we're not paid. So the idea is supporting us and the kids. I have to get out of Southern County Thursday. You see the 4 kids I have down there. That's 3 hours. And a couple of years ago, gas wasn't a problem. Gas problem now.
Yes, it's a problem, anyway.
So, Ashley's looking to recruit more people, and that is in the process. We're looking to come out from under UCHRA sometime in the next year, which will be, any of this money will go directly to us investors. Because, as you know, probably better than anyone, UCHRA is a huge chunk of anything that you have. And a lot of offenses are under UCHRA.
You're with UCHRA, aren't you?
We are, they don't financially support us in any way. We just kind of,
Just under their
we need a
umbrella.
board.
Yeah,
so
you
that's
need-
our board.
We have liability with them,
Okay,
you know.
yeah, yeah, because they cover you with insurance and
Does Mike still helping you get better?
Yes, he's not able to make it tonight because he's got cases right now as well.
I'm supposed to be in a couple minutes.
stuff.
There's a budget and everything too, because everything that we have in our county stays in Overton County's budget.
Okay,
And it's all managed, the 4 counties are managed usually like under CASA.
I was looking at it here, the expenditures, and this is, you know, you need to put down the areas where you kind of, in detail, and I like how you did that, I thank you for that, so, you know, it kind of gives us an idea of exactly what's going on, and I don't know who typed this up, was that you?
Somebody.
You went into detail, and we appreciate that, because, when you're looking at these things, we like the details, because holy moly. Sorry.
6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. if you know anything about meth addiction, most people take a lot of meth, are paranoid. And one of the results of that is they don't throw any garbage out. Because they're afraid the police will find a way to show they make a meth. So, you want to keep sleeping on that.
My mom and dad done foster care for 30 years. You know my mom and dad, don't you? Robert and Tracy Barlow.
Yes, I heard so at school, with her a lot, she had a lot of children.
She ended up adopting 11 of those.
Oh my God.
Did it for 10 years.
Right?
Yeah, we were begging them to quit after 20, because I was like, no, listen, y'all are getting older, we're getting older, we're getting grandkids, and there's 21 people in this house.
Sounds like the Carpenters.
I know, yeah. But no, they had a big heart, but I got to talk to the kids, and the kids are the most important. I do agree. But, yes, you don't understand what they go through, and I appreciate you guys for what all y'all do, I really do.
It's the time is such an element, because DCS is required to see them once a month, and we're required to, there are 2 or more times, and it doesn't say how long that visit is. And, you know, you just can't decide a child's life from a bunch of paperwork. You know, there is to be hands-on and reports, and the judge knows, you might say another side of the story, or what is actually seen and heard from this agency, and who's from this agency, you know what I mean? Because he can't be out there. He only has to see them 1 time a year.
Yeah.
Another thing CASA does a lot of is that, we're able to build a rapport with the children, we're able to, you know, make them feel comfortable enough to tell us things, and sometimes they tell us some things they won't tell DCS, because DCS is the bad guys, so we're just, you know, the person that's looking out for them. So
Well,
CASA's really
yeah, the
invaluable.
foster kids would tell us, oh my God, she's coming today, and, you know.
There comes that
Yeah,
DCS
yeah,
worker,
yeah.
and you're not.
And made things seem worse than they were, or better than they were, or something like that. But a lot of the kids that they were trying to reunite with their families didn't want to go, and that's where mom and dad stepped in and just adopted. So, I mean, they come out of a bad home, bad situation. You know, if you were abused, why would you try to bring a kid back? Yes. So.
This example is closer to reality. You know, I have one that's just turned 3, and these foster parents are prospective adoptive foster parents, and both grandmothers are right there within 2 miles of the home. They both work, they're from Richmond, and that's the only thing that 3-year-old knows. Now, the 4-year-old knows some things, but they came out of tents on the side of the road with 2 men, and a mother that was was a drug addict, and he doesn't know his daddy, and he wants to, you know, they're gonna have to TPR him instead of him surrendering rights. The mother, but anyway, she's either surrendered or won't be objecting to it. And he can't in 5 or 6 years before he's out establish a relationship with that 3-year-old boy.
You
I'm
know,
going to watch him play back his little softball, T-ball right now.
I went through
He
a
needs a
class
life.
with UT, it's been probably a month ago now, and they said the signs of abuse, most of the abuse happens under 5-year-old because they don't know to tell somebody.
And that's when they bond, and that's when they do their grace.
Mhm.
You know, started
Under
foreign
5,
language,
because
started
they're
at
still
2 years
developing.
old.
Yeah.
Same thing with swimming, you know that.
Mhm.
Bonded or not, doesn't even know his father, much less than 5 more years. Oh, I have a dad. Everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, yeah, and we see that, and it's unfortunately happening a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions?
An extra packet.
Oh.
Is this an extra?
Pass it down.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions here for you?
I think you deserve all the help you can get.
We appreciate it.
I hope you get 100 volunteers.
I hope so too, that would be amazing.
You know, we're talking about a program of routine, but she asked me for a little bit more, about getting some intern types and social work types and studying social work Lincoln County.
Yeah, Tech has an internship process.
That's the good boss, they have internships.
Yes. So, I was looking for an intern myself, so that's what I say, and that's where I know all these places to tell you, but yeah. Does anybody else have anything? Do y'all have anything? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, thank you for coming.
All of it that you all can do us. You have been in the past, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good to see you.
Christine? You stepping? Yeah, it's all right. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't miss me.
He said, he done,
You gotta
Christine
be
don't take
45
it,
minutes away
man.
in 45
He
minutes.
said as soon as she gets here, I'm leaving.
I know it.
See ya.
See you later.
He's gotta be 45 minutes away in 45 minutes. All right, so Christina, of course, we know she's with the UT Extension Office. She's wanting to come in and go over her budget, with us. So Christina?
So you've had an opportunity to see the budget. Ms. Garofalo, do you have questions?
Is this first, last year's budget, that one that says original?
Yes.
So that's last year's,
Uh-huh.
and this over here's 2024?
Yes.
Okay.
The original appropriation, or total appropriation is last year's, yes. So my budget's a little bit different than most because it is UT, TSU, and so Connie has always asked me to estimate high, and I generally give back money to the county for the most part because of that. Because in the past, the county has experienced some unexpected, and so we don't want that happening, and so most cases I give money back every year. Well, ever since I've started doing budget, I've done that. The one thing different in this year's budget is that last item down there, that digital sign. The reason I am requesting that this time, of course, you know, we have gotten a new TSU agent, and TSU is demanding signage to have TSU sign on it. And so, the digital sign, that I am,
Yes.
the one I'm asking about is, if the digital sign, I don't want it just for UT, TSU. I want it to represent the whole community so that if there's a horse show going on at the fair, or if there is something going on in Alpine, as far as a community project, then we can advertise that.
County offices closed, school closed.
Yeah, lots of different things, so that we can advertise that and it'll become a community. Like I've got, this group that just left had asked me if they could borrow this sign that's down here, to put their information when they're having their dance. And it would be a whole lot easier to post on that. Now I told them they can have it for a couple of days, but it takes away from our 4-H'ers whenever we do that, and so, I'm trying to be a good steward to everyone else as well as our kids that we serve. And so with this is a one-time opportunity, because I have talked to UT and TSU. UT will put in $10,000 on this sign, and TSU will put in $5,000. If we vote this down, and I'm not trying to make threats, I'm just telling you the facts, okay? If we vote this down, well, I'm honestly, because if we don't do this, then I'm gonna have to put up a new sign. And it's gonna be just a wooden sign that, you know, costs a couple $1,000. That's not gonna, all it's gonna do is advertise our location.
Are they gonna let you do all that though? The schools will let you do other advertising stuff? Because that's probably why they're what you did, just to advertise them, is that right?
No, they're advertising our programs.
But you don't have to say it's sponsored by the city or sponsored by TSU or.
At the bottom of this sign, which I didn't bring, at the bottom, it will have
Okay, I see.
our, logo, TSU.
Okay.
And we've also said that we would like to put the, county election office in there. So that people will know who's at the top of this building, you know, where to go to find us.
Right.
And so, so we will not only advertise us, but also the election. Of course, you know, when election office is, a lot of times every year, there's people come in on election day wanting to vote over here. And so the sign would just be a great, you know, addition to directing people. You know, there's a lot of things that's going on in different places that I don't know, have a clue because I don't see it, you know. Anyway, so we're looking at this. I know that because of the cost of the sign, we'll need to get 2 additional quotes, which we're looking at doing. And I've talked to Connie about possibly a grant that we might could look into trying to get. I have, TSU and UT thought that it was gonna be within this year's budget, and I said, no, we need to put it in next year's budget if we can. And so they've agreed to that. And I am going to, we've contacted a place about a possible, funding, but you know, that's no guarantee. And if we get that funding, then this, you know, that amount, whatever amount addition goes back to the county. So, I'm not here trying to take money from the county that is not needed or could be put into good resources. Now, this sign, I went and talked to Curtis, and the city has approved it. Of course, there'll be some fees, taxes and fees and all that for, you know, that.
How big you gonna make it, Christine? Cause I see some
Okay,
that's
so-
4 by 8, 3 by 8, 4 or something.
So we're looking at be the smaller ones for, well, I added 25,500. So I added $300 to this for, any fees and so forth. So we're looking at a 3 by 6, 10 millimeter, it's a watch fire sign.
This one here on the left-hand corner, the column you're looking at.
Well, that was one thing Curtis asked me not to do, was to put it on the, as you're coming out our driveway, on the left-hand side, because you can't see. And so, the company came up with the best place is gonna be there on the end of the building. Curtis had asked me about putting it in the green down there in front of the building, and this company said, advised against it because of the power lines. Because they have to be bringing in a crane and all that to install it. Curtis was good with putting it there, and he said as long as you don't go out beyond what that, memorial sign, go any further out towards the street than that. That's what his recommendation was.
See, which one of these pictures you're talking about?
So I'm talking about, the bottom
Bottom
right.
right, okay.
Curtis is wanting it on the wall of the building.
No, not necessarily. He was really wanting it in the green part there
Okay.
between the drive and the walkway into the building. But, now, in a different company,
Curtis,
you know, may say, yeah, I don't wanna do it that way, you know.
yeah, Curtis don't have a say on that, does he? He's not funding any of it in the entire building.
Well, the only thing Curtis has to say is because it's within the city.
City side, okay. I think that
It
is.
should be approach directional though.
You're right,
It
I
should-
agree.
It should be before you get to the place that one.
I
mean,
agree.
That's the proper, yeah, it's the
Now,
proper.
there's a lot, Christina, there is, a lot of programs that y'all do over there that a lot of people don't know about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the sign could tell what's going on, what classes being offered.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I can see a good thing that can be used, because that helps the people in our county.
This,
the metal sign down on the bottom, Christine, or, I heard it. Didn't recommend to put it there where that's that. But what if it, our understanding, blocking the view? So what if it's up higher where it don't block it? I'm saying to.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's.
The water is the problem there. then.
Right, and actually, if you brought it towards the parking lot a little bit,
It would be away
Yeah,
from the.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, it could,
uh,
if it was set over, right, just right over to the parking lot, the sign would be sticky. Nobody would be hitting his parking,
right,
and that would get it over out of the blind, you know, wouldn't,
You know, back towards the parking lot.
if he wait, I mean, say, he'd be all right with that, you know.
right.
Would be better than having it on the end of the building, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. If we can get, of course, we'll have to get a, evaluation of what pipes and all, wires and things are under the ground there, which I haven't done that because I want to bring it to you all first. And yes, I agree in that green section, I would like for it to go towards that light pole to the
Right at
right
the light
of
pole,
Yeah.
because it's already got electricity there, so
it. Yes, it does.
it would.
And it's visual too.
Yeah.
And this be before you got, you know, before you got to the building. And
It wouldn't have to be two-sided, it'd just be
No.
one.
It's priced at one-sided.
Yeah, well, two-sided would really be useless.
Right.
There ain't no traffic coming from the other side.
I don't know what's going on from the community.
But no, I mean, you know, Christina said, not only for what 4-H and Latin, but anything that's going on in the county, it'd be digital, all gotta be typed in and run, you know, run across any events, anything that the fires are having, or any of the
You know, Alpine has,
volunteers, fire departments and stuff,
right,
I have, you know, they could run across,
They had to close down the school. and
Yeah.
stuff like
Right.
that.
you know, lot of different, but we don't have one like that nowhere in the county, none advertised that way.
right.
And I would like to have one here at this building, but there wasn't enough room to put one, you know.
Well, that
They
sounds
can't,
service.
they miss this one. They say if they miss this one without a sign, they
Put it
done
on
something.
top of the building, yeah, here.
Well, the things that you're doing, you know,
Yeah.
like if.
Yeah, I thought, you know, a running sign with stuff that's happening in the county.
But there's a lot UT does that I didn't even know about.
Sign for a sign.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is Jason, you know.
It'll be skimpy, and unless, you know, it'll be skimpy for that. Cause I'm only allowing $300, and I've been told to keep my budget real small, so that's what I'm trying to do. And so,
They're trying to make up for the time, trying to cut your budget some.
yes, I have, so, yes. If they continue with the price that they've quoted, and we don't have a lot of problems with the installation, I don't know how much, you know more about installation than I do.
Well, I should have asked you, can you do it all for 25.5, because if that's just for the sign, the installation's gonna be another $3,000 or $4,000.
Oh,
That was, I thought that included the installation.
it includes the installation, but it does not include,
Digging the ground work.
Digging the
Right.
ground. Okay.
right,
So all that will cost another, what, $2,000 or more?
so, they know.
Will you program it at the sign, or are you gonna have to go out, have it run to
To the building.
the building?
No, it's on cellular.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
you'll have a password that, can, from your phone or a computer.
Didn't read that
Be
part.
like an app you sign into and you can change it on the app.
That's all right, that's a good idea.
Instead, they had the signs that you had to program at the sign at one point, but now everybody's going to,
Right.
We're going to have that too.
where you can get into it remotely.
His information was that there has been other signs where it was done at the sign, and there has been a lot of hacking going on. People pull up there and put up their computer and they change the sign. And so this is a better method so that you have to have a password to put it in.
It keeps the kids from hacking into it and putting what they want on Billy Bob loves Jolene.
That's what they're saying.
I mean, would that be something that the county could help install on,
We certainly would do our best to help. I mean, we could probably, you know, we could dig the hole, if that's what, help with that, we could definitely do that.
Yeah, that would.
And since there's no buried cables, then, we can trench it over to the pole if we need to, and let whoever wires it in, but yeah, we certainly be glad to help. I know James is going to help all he can, so. So that won't cost you anything there.
So,
that would save on
Yeah.
installing?
I'd say probably a couple $100, maybe more than that. Just for us to get you a place
so
dug.
will you adjust my budget? To what you think it needs to be? So who do I need to see about if there's any hidden cables and
You have to call us later.
311
electric company?
Yeah, or if,
411?
811 what they call
or
it.
811. I knew it was something.
And what they'll do, you'll call them, tell them your location, and they'll issue it for 2 weeks, it's no problem. If you're not ready to do it, I wouldn't call them. Let me get that done for you.
Okay,
Okay, I'll call them, Carolyn, and they'll come spot it, and I'll get the telephone company to do it.
okay,
We work real well with them, and it's a lot easier just be called me and James and have them go do it.
okay.
Do you know where the water is, down through there? Does anybody know where the water's coming in at?
Is it on this side of the street or on that
I
side?
don't know. I
You'd
wonder.
have to get with Curtis to find
But
out.
I'll give Kennedy, and he'll know.
I don't know, if Curtis knows.
Kennedy does. What's his first name? Jerry Kennedy.
Oh, he's the one over, yes,
Oh, the water.
yes. Well, the reason I say that, I'm sure Curtis does know, but he was saying that the right of way is very unclear because the right of way for the state is unclear how far over and all that, and so he said stay within that boundary of
Yeah.
what that other
You'll have to,
monument is.
the state is not claiming, they're trying to push some of the right way off of the city, like they go down the county to us. We're trying to get a clear answer. We've been in a debate about it for a couple of years on how they do it right.
Right.
Is there a way that, Christina, you can maybe get a hold of a couple more, sign companies and meet back with us and see what?
I will do that. I just wanted to make sure y'all wasn't gonna shoot me off and say forget it
I think
before I did that.
Great idea, we can figure out a way to pay for it.
Yeah, the money.
Everything.
We do that later.
Yeah, just, yeah.
They should raise your taxes.
But I think it'd be a good thing for all the people in the county.
Sure.
Well, it would, I think that it would help all communities, because, you know, we are a community organization, and, you know, we're not here for one group. We want to aid all communities. Now, this sign will not be a sign to promote somebody's sale that's going on, you know.
And TSU's pushing that?
Well, TSU just wants their name on the sign out here.
So we can do that for $50.
Yeah, just pay this one, yeah, we could, but she's wanting to, like she said.
I just want.
Yeah, I mean,
While we have the opportunity, and matter of fact, Dr. Lagari from TSU, when I was asking for this, UT had come back and said they would do 10,000.
Oh, okay.
And then Dr. Lagari took him a while, and he wrote me back and he said, I normally don't do this kind of things, but I will for this case. So
he can be 5.
So he gave me 5.
So you got 15 this
Yes.
year, okay. And you need 25, 5, at the middle.
I need another 10.
Something else.
No, that's a good, but we won't never get another opportunity that good a deal.
If, we can come up because we have to have, 3 bids if it's over 25,000?
If it's over 10, you do.
Or
Over 10.
Over 10, yeah. If we ever bid it out. See if we can, we have to bid it out, or we have to have
But we gotta get the bids.
Yeah, you can do
sealed
that.
bids?
You could just ask for 3 quotes under 25 though. Anything over 25 has to be sealed bid now. That's what you should basically do on the trucks and things.
Okay.
So anything under a 10 or less, you have to do 3.
Bids.
If it's 25 or over, you have to advertise it, yeah.
And so since this is 25 and over,
You'll have to advertise it.
advertise it, see if anybody's interested in
Right.
it, and they have to have sealed bids come in. And, we have to open it up one at a time, and nobody can see it before.
Would you call around, like you're saying, would you call around somebody saying, and have them give you just a rough estimate for
Okay,
now, and then before you do all that?
Get with Curtis and make sure that,
Yeah,
make sure it's all right to scoot it over towards your parking lot, you know.
okay.
and don't worry about getting it put up, we'll get you, if we get come up with the money.
I mean, that's,
get it-
I think
Yeah.
you would be all right with, you know,
He might even want help.
You might,
How much was
if you ought to.
do you know?
There's not a dollar figure, it's, and that won't be released until June.
I wonder why, I've always wondered that, which how come they don't incorporate the cities into your budget? You know, like we do. You know, we put money.
It's always been
Always been,
because
yeah.
UT was established in 1918,
Mhm.
and it was a three partnership, it was federal government, state government, and county
Local
government.
government,
And
so
so
county
that's,
government, not local.
yeah, local government. So that's,
Okay, I always wondered why we didn't have the city involved,
No,
because
it's-
we've got schools in the city and stuff, so.
well, they're part of this county, you know, as far as UT is concerned.
No, according to them, they're not.
Well, I look at all people equal.
Oh, sorry, excuse me, Charlie. I forgot about that. I'm gonna get mad, he won't talk to me for a while. Just kidding.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
all right,
I don't mean that bad.
Any other questions?
that's what it's gonna name, you may got any other questions?
You always do a good job, Chris Pam.
keep up the good work.
She sure does.
Yeah, I ran into did they tell you about me running into them down in Murphy?
At Congress?
Yeah. And, it was kinda funny. I told one of the girls over there that was my neighbor, I said, you can't go by one, everybody's watching. That's,
I've got no meeting.
all right. With that,
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Later.
Good to see you.
You too.
See you. Take care.
Retired.
our next meeting is
Last-
April 3rd, 4
Well, I had my
o'clock.
party, last Thursday, so.
Let's go good.
Well, I think we should.
April
We're-
10th,
we're
3:30, and April 17th, 4:30.
Gonna do the job. See you.
See you.
All right, any old or new business to discuss? We have put in here the sales tax for February on the back, on the very back.
Is that good news?
It's
About the same.
just a few $100 shy of what it was last year.
Oh, okay.
January was a little more than last year, so, it's about average, I guess, still higher than it has been in the last couple of years, but it's about,
Boy, the gas.
well, about less than $500 than it was this time last year.
For the month of February.
You say less?
Yeah, it's less.
That's okay. That ain't bad.
It's not bad. It's not thousands.
Last month was 40,000 more, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
Than it
39.
was a year ago.
Yeah, right at 40,000 more than it was last year. This month was 500 less. So we're continuing. Hopefully in March will be better than last year. March we only had 94,000. I think that might be a typo. That might be 194,000. I don't. Unless we had a bad March last year. But it's continuing over. Any more discussion on the sales, local option sales tax on that?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
In one of our meetings, and I don't know if he was here or not, we asked Connie about, we've been talking about maybe there's things that are in the county.
Tax audit, sales tax
Yes,
audit.
yes.
She talked to me about it, and I think she's looking into somebody that does that. So, yes, it is time to do a sales tax audit. Because we have been trying to go through it ourselves, and, me and her both have been chasing down things, and there was places that I thought you know,
It's a sign, but-
needs to be more than what it was, or not doing it, so we still can't find some of these businesses on our report. And so they would make sure that whatever's supposed to be on it is on it. I know we had questions about the Old Gray, we can't find it anywhere on here, or they're in Overton County, so are they paying it to Putnam County, or they paying it to Overton County, we can't find it.
I thought the state did that for us last time we done that. I think
UT, or Connie said who it was, and for the life of me, I cannot remember off the top. It might be the state.
Oh, it was, but you have to request it to the
Yeah,
department.
so, I think it's free.
Yeah, it
I think
is.
it's what it was.
Yeah, well,
But they'll come in there and dig through it with, one of them ice cones.
it really helps one.
So hopefully, but yeah, hopefully they might dig into some stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things we've been added since the last time we've done. Any more discussion on on new business? Okay. With that, I'd like to recognize Randall for the motion to adjourn.
Hello, sir.
I thought he might have actually done something.
Yeah, I won the pony. Did I got a second? Greg second. Piper.
That was funny. Brad, you get on.
All right, all four. Aye.
Yeah.
Andy, nay. All right, this moment.